Hi, everyone. Welcome to the first Certic Security Leaderboard Showcase. I'm your host, Aaron Leibowitz, and I'm so excited to be bringing you this amazing showcase. I'm going to be hosting top DeFi projects for AMAs, discussing how you can use the Security Leaderboard to DYOR. Please remember to like and subscribe before we continue. So today, I'm going to be having on Yunnan and Vinish from Multiplier Finance. Before we jump in with them, let's do a little overview of the security leaderboard so everyone can see what it's like. So here you have the screen when you land at CertiK.org. This is the security leaderboard. You can see a list of all of the projects we've worked with, the various products of ours that they have employed. You'll see there are different tabs for different L1s. And these are the security primitives for our Skynet. Now let's click into a project and see what happens when you go to an actual projects page. So you'll see the audit report and overview at the top where you can click into the audit, the Skynet with the 6 security primitives that it monitors and scoring below that, and sentiment analysis below that. Now let's dive into our guests today, Multiplier Finance. This is their leaderboard where you can see that they have a full audit report. And now I will be bringing them up here with me. So let's welcome Vinish and
Hello.
Yunnan. Hey guys, how are you?
Hello, everybody. Nice to be here.
Hi, very well, thank you.
Thrilled to have you guys.
Very nice to be here.
So could you go ahead and give us a little overview of who you are, Multiplier Finance, and sort of your role within the team?
Sure. Let me start. Hi, everyone. My name is Yunnan. I'm the CTO of Multiplier Finance. I've been in the IT space since year 2000, and I founded a company, a game and IT company called Periphery. Since 2017, I've been involved in various aspects of the CeFi and DeFi blockchain projects. In Multipliers, I work with the team on all technical aspects, including smart contracts, front-end server API. I'm also actively involved with the QA and auditors to ensure the highest quality of our platform. Thanks for the invitation. I'm really thrilled to be here today.
Hi, everyone. Yes, hi, I'm Vinish, and I'm head of risk for Multiplier Finance. At Multiplier, I look at things like financial risk, tokenomics design, liquidity, and listings. I started my career in 2012 as an FX trader and spent many years trading for institutions. Prior to joining Multiplier in 2020, I was managing partner of X Delta Capital, a cross-border crypto arbitrage and market-making firm. Multiplier started off as a regulated CeFi lender in 2019. We picked up licenses in Hong Kong as well as Switzerland. In late 2020, we moved to DeFi. So in 2020, we released 2 Ethereum-based protocols. And in late February this year, we actually launched Multi-Chain Lend on Binance Smart Chain, which is a non-custodial lending protocol inspired and forked from AAVE. So to date, Certic has audited 2 of our protocols, simplified stable bonds on Ethereum and Multi-Chain Lend on BSC. Yeah, so very happy to be here and looking forward to the chat.
Thank you guys for that great intro. So let's dive into a few questions here. So we've gone over who you guys are and Multiplier. I actually didn't realize you had started as CeFi and transitioned over to DeFi. I'm curious about that. How was that process for you guys?
Yeah, it was relatively straightforward. I mean, we got into CeFi primarily because of our interest in cryptocurrencies. Subsequently, we found that DeFi space was moving much faster and the innovation was happening at a much quicker pace. And really, the regulations was holding the innovation back. And I think it was a very easy decision for the firm to transit into building DeFi protocols, which also kind of really reduced the amount of friction there was to adoption of the various products. So yeah, that's what brought us to DeFi.
That makes a lot of sense.
That's right.
I think a lot of people would say the same in their experience.
Yeah.
So I'll start off with a softball question here. But Can you talk about choosing CertiK as your security provider and how your experience has been?
Sure. I'm the one to work most of the time with Certic auditing. Do allow me to share some experience. So I felt that working with Certic auditor has definitely been a very pleasurable experience. The whole process start something like this. So when the audit start, right, we'll create a discussion group where all the auditors, project manager, and relevant parties are added to the group to communicate the requirements, priorities, risk point, and timeline. So at this point in time, right, our GitHub repo will be open and made available to the editors to start the auditing. Now, during the auditing, I found that the feedback and responses were very timely. Oftentimes we are able to act immediately on the auditor's feedback and recommendation, and this enhanced our code quality and the security aspect of the code. Now, on the engagement of Certic Shield, right, Multiplier has purchased Certic Shield as security coverage for our smart contracts. This provides additional benefits as well as the peace of mind for our users. Now, we believe that achieving maximum security for every protocol that we deploy. This includes not only Certic Shield, but also activities such as bug bounties and continuous audit by multiple auditors. So this has been our approach in terms of securities.
Thank you for that. And I do encourage everyone to go check out certic.org, see the security leaderboard, go into the Multiplier page, check out their shield, and of course, like and subscribe. Now, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to drop them into the chat. We will try and get to them. Thank you. So can you speak to choosing BSC as your L1 and the comparison of that and other L1s for you specifically?
Sure. So as a little bit of background, Multiplier started the SSB or Simplified Stable Bonds on the Ethereum blockchain itself. During that time, right, we also witnessed the growth of the lending and borrowing protocols such as AAVE and Compound. But unfortunately, we realized that due to the high gas fee in Ethereum blockchain, right, it soon become too expensive for small account user to even participate. A simple transaction will cost like $30, just to participate. Now, when BSC was first announced, we immediately realized that we are able to bring this protocol, lending and borrowing protocol to BSC, where the gas fee is much lower. Hence, enabling all users to participate, regardless of their account size. Big account size that will can participate, as well as the small users. Now, we want to level the playing field for everybody to join. Now, BSC also has, a couple of advantages such as speed and high throughputs. The speed is definitely faster because it uses the POSA, which is the proof of stake authority consensus algorithm. And this is definitely much more efficient, faster than the proof of work. In the past few quarters, we have experienced, we witnessed that BSC has undergone a huge growth potential in terms of the adoption rate and the growth velocity. We felt that this is truly a great blockchain to be in, not only now, but also for the futures.
Thank you for that. I definitely agree with everything you said there. The idea of sort of enabling smaller users to participate is a huge advantage of BSC. So I'd love to get your guys' insight on flash loans. It's a sort of unique value prop that you're bringing to the Binance Smart Chain. And they have a bad reputation, quite frankly. They've been used to export protocols in the past, and I think that's what they're best known for. Can you guys touch on where flash loans can actually be useful and a positive addition to the space?
Yeah, so I think we've debated this topic quite a number of times. Flash loans are actually very notorious for being used in exploits, as the DeFi world knows. I mean, having started in Ethereum and sort of introduced by AAVE. Well, the intention, behind flash loan-based exploits is malicious. It tends to show up defenses, as protocols adjust and guard against future attacks. Lots of best practices have been implemented across the board, both on a protocol level as well as, on a project level. And I think both auditors and projects are now more aware of the types of vulnerabilities that could exist. However, flash loans does obviously give one the ability to borrow funds without posting collateral. So I guess non-exploitative use cases would be things like conducting arbitrage, swapping your collateral, or using it for liquidation. Typically, these help the market with capital efficiency. While flash loans are typically accessible only to developers, there are also like cool products now, such as Furu Combo, which have built interfaces and are making flash loans available to the larger population.
Thank you for that overview. I think that what you said about shoring up protocols is definitely true. Flash loans have helped the community understand new potential exploits and have demonstrated maybe flaws in business logic in some contracts. And on the auditing side, for sure, it has forced us to really look at new potential exploits and be on our toes at all times.
Yeah, and it's very interesting because especially on Ethereum, maybe you're starting to see perhaps the guys who are exploiting protocols using flash loans have to start becoming more and more creative, and protocols are becoming even more creative to defend against such attacks. We were actually quite pleasantly surprised when we moved to BSC and BSC welcomed flash loans, and in a way they did mention that it was they liked the innovation, but they didn't want to stop it just because it might be used for the wrong reasons. So we thought that was quite insightful, and we're hoping that as the space matures, protocols and protocols especially are able to really build up their defenses and guard against such exploits. And I think that requires some sort of maturity and a bit of time.
Yeah, that's really insightful that they were not hesitant to onboard flash loans to their ecosystem. I do think in DeFi, the decentralized aspect there should encourage that we don't limit projects' ability to onboard to an L1. So I think that's really nice to hear that they were very open and accepting of that.
Yeah.
We have a live question here. What are the limits of flash loans? I don't know if they mean financially or structurally, but maybe you guys can take that question as the exponential
limitation. Yeah, I guess you're asking technical limitation. Yeah, so I think one of the limitation for flash loan is that the amount that you borrow needs to be returned in a single block, right? So depends on the blockchain, like Ethereum might be 15 seconds, BSC might be 5 seconds. So this is one of the limitation. I guess the other limitation is the tools that is available today are not mature enough for the general public to consume. So a lot of times, developers or custom codings in smart contracts needs to be deployed, and that require a lot of expertise and developers' experience to deploy something that is suitable for the intention, or not easily exploitable by others, because it needs to be deployed as a smart contract.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for that. So diving into the Multiplier Protocol, can you give us an overview of the MXX versus BMXX tokens and your governance structure?
Yeah, sure. The MXX token is actually our ERC20 token, and BMXX our BSC token. So they're essentially pegged, right? Users can convert their MXX to BMXX using our one-way bridge from Ethereum to Binance Smart Chain. We do still have a large number of users sitting on Ethereum, and we're working on encouraging them to cross to BSC to utilize MCL. I guess I'll touch a bit on multi-chain lend, right?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So MCL, in short, is actually a non-custodial lending protocol that's taken inspiration and fork from AAVE, but deployed on the Binance Smart Chain for faster and cheaper transactions. So the protocol contains revenue sharing components where it shares 70% of its revenues with lenders and 20% with people who stake in the governance pool. So these revenue sharing components consist of revenues generated from loan origination and flash loan fees. Right. BMXX token is actually the governance token of MCL, which gives holders voting rights and also grants people who stake in the governance pool with governance incentives.
Got it. That all makes sense. I didn't realize that you guys had a one-way bridge from ETH to BSC. That's a pretty unique value prop that you're providing there.
Yeah, this is this is quite interesting. I guess this is something we discussed, and we were quite keen on porting over our users from Ethereum to Binance. And right from the start, the idea was to use Ethereum where there was a really large, let's say back then, when there was a really large user base. We have to remember that this was in September 2020 and October when we launched our first two protocols on Ethereum. That was when Ethereum and DeFi was at a high. So when you said DeFi, almost all the users were basically on the Ethereum blockchain.
Yeah, for sure.
Subsequently, we decided to move over to Binance, and we were really, sort of convinced that it was the chain for a lending protocol to be on. I guess we're also convinced because we saw all these huge programs that Binance had put out to encourage projects to build on them, as well as that CeFi DeFi bridge that Binance is able to offer so effectively simply because they are the largest exchange in the world. And yeah, so we thought that, okay, let's gather our users on Ethereum and let's migrate them through a one-way bridge to Binance and give them a great experience, with the product. So that was the thought process.
And is that bridge centralized through you guys, or is it a sort of decentralized bridge?
Yeah, currently we are on a centralized bridge. However, the smart contract deploys are totally decentralized.
Got it. That makes sense. We have seen definitely there are a lot of people working on those types of bridges. So I was curious if you guys had some sort of novel, fully decentralized way to do that, because I know that is a huge sort of golden egg in the space that people are chasing right now.
Yeah, that's right.
Awesome. So can you speak to us about your community initiatives? Looking through your Discord and other social channels, we saw that there are a lot of ways for community members to earn tokens to participate in the ecosystem right now.
Yeah, sure. So as part of our tokenomics, we actually have what is reserved for, we call it ecosystem reserves, which forms a large part of our tokenomics. And this was reserved for users on the Binance ecosystem. So when we migrated to BSC, we knew that we had to incentivize users in the BSC ecosystem to participate, participate and use our product. For that, we have come up with a number of initiatives to encourage, participation in various areas. For example, we have, at top of the head, there are things like liquidity mining schemes, which are hosted by yield farms like PancakeSwap and many of the yield optimizers like AutoFarm, Beefy, Swampy. On top of that, we've also introduced incentives to encourage governance proposals. This is something that we've been working on for a while, trying to hand over portions of the protocol to be governed by the community. So specifically around, listing of collateral assets and seeding them, we've come up with a governance framework to make it work. And currently, we also have ongoing marketing campaigns with Ontology and DeFi Box that are centered around, encouraging users to lend into our lending protocol, as well as, exploring our product and various social medias. So these are just part of the ongoing initiatives, which largely fueled by our ecosystem reserves. So the community actually votes or brings up proposals, or the core team brings up proposals and says that, hey, this is how we're going to use the reserves, and it is for marketing, it is to used for anything that is for protocol benefit, and then the community votes, and then these are minted from the reserved and used for various purposes. So I think that's something unique, and we obviously measuring the outcome of these various initiatives as we go along, especially in this landscape. I think on Binance Smart Chain we're noticing that it's a very, very high yield landscape, and
Yeah, for sure.
To compete on yield is something that's really difficult. And if not structured right, you end up giving a very large part of your tokens to a very small number of people, and this could end up hurting your token, and as a result hurting your token holders as well. So what we're really trying to do is to get our product used and our tokens in the hands of a very large number of users. So that is something that we're actively working on, and that's what we are driving these initiatives for.
Got it. So a little bit of the principles of fair launch in there.
Yeah, I wouldn't really call it a fair launch. Actually, Andre Cronje had something very interesting to say about this. He said he never wished he did a fair launch because at the end of the day, nobody cares when the developer is down that they built the protocol. So I would say obviously we have a team allocation and foundation allocation in the tokenomics, so it technically wouldn't count as a fair launch. But I would say that we have over time been doing everything we can to get as much of our tokens in the hands of users.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense. And something you mentioned, which I find very interesting, is that BSC is a very high yield environment right now.
Yeah.
Do you think that's due to the sort of nascent stage we're at with the Binance Smart Chain? As it matures a little bit, it's going to level off to more reasonable yield percentages?
Yeah, I think so. I guess we just need to look at how Ethereum, the yields in Ethereum persisted, and I think we started seeing the yields come around somewhere around June, where it was fairly noticeable and high, right? And then it kind of started to peak and gain mainstream attention by September, and then by December, I think it had normalized. So I think if we apply the same timelines, Binance probably started gaining, projects started picking up somewhere around Jan. We are somewhere around April. But the difference, technically, it should end in June. But the difference between this and Ethereum is that Binance has actually caught the bull run, and I think the bull run might actually fuel the yields for slightly longer. So as a result, I don't know, maybe we'll see this behavior for as long as the bull run lasts. Yeah.
Fair enough. And that actually brings in a live question. Up to you if you want to answer it. But does the Bitcoin bull run affect your token price?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think Bitcoin bull run, it's not just the price of one asset. It's actually the expectations and ambitions of an entire space, being sort of reflected in the prices of assets. More money flowing into Bitcoin means that currently it's actually, I guess we're going really mainstream at the moment. Cryptocurrency is currently now undergoing what is commonly referred to as a super cycle. Lots of money is flowing in. It has, it's widely adopted, and I guess the trickle down effects are that this money is going to flow into various assets. So you talk about other major assets, altcoins, microcaps, etc. And I guess, therefore, if you look at tokens and token prices over the last, 6 months, 3 months, anyone could have been anyone could have made a 10x. You just had to close your eyes and sort of put it into a few projects, and you'd wake up with sort of a return. So, it's also very exciting, I guess, fun to trade in such an environment, primarily because it's, unless you are sort of chopping in and out, it's quite difficult to make losses. But that being said, yes, therefore, it does have an impact. We actually experienced the impact somewhere around February, and we kind of caught the wave quite nicely. I think our token has done about perhaps at the peak, almost 100x, and then now I think it's gone down to something like 50. So yeah, it does affect. I think more capital in the space is always good for all token projects. But that being said, it is not a guarantee that increase in price of Bitcoin means that your token price will increase. At the end of the day, you still have to rely on your community. You have to rely on the sort of usage of your product, and then hopefully timing is good enough for you to catch the wave and sort of enjoy the benefits.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for that insight. I think that is all that we have today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I'd like to ask you guys to share your website, where people can keep up with your project, and anything else the community might be interested in.
Yeah, sure. How do we share this?
You know what? If you want to type it in the chat, you can go ahead and do that, and I can show it live on stream. Or you can speak to it, and people can search it up. I know in the...
Yeah, check us out on multiplier.finance. We have all our social media links there. You can also check out our product. Yep, so that's where you'll find us.
Show that real quick so everyone can see. Definitely check these guys out on their website. Go join their community. And of course, please do like and subscribe and join us next time for another broadcast. Thank you guys so much again for today. Really great answers, and was thrilled to have you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for hosting us. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, have a good one. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
So thank you, everyone, for joining us for the first Certic Security Leaderboard live showcase. Those were our guests from Multiplier Finance. Follow us on Twitter and YouTube, and we'll be back with you next week. Bye-bye.